Now, a few weeks ago, before all the excitement of the Super Bowl, the Scottish Hammer himself, Cleveland Browns punter Jamie Gillan, was in town. So we sent our very own NFL expert / superfan Ash to give him a grilling.
You're known as the Scottish Hammer. Where did that whole nickname come from?
Came from my high school coach. His name's Brian Woodburn. He was the one that kind of started everything, and he liked the way I punt, and he was like, I'm going to call you the Scottish Hammer.
You moved over to the States whilst you were quite young. What was that whole move like?
Mine was a lot different just because I went from doing a lot in rugby as a fly half to just punting and kicking field goals. And I struggled at first because that was my avenue. You know, I love tackling people, I love being competitive, I love running and working out. So it was tough to go from that to just punting. But there's definitely an avenue for rugby guys to be kickers and stuff too. But the only thing is, I'd say taking a hit with those helmets though, that's a lot gnarlier than getting hit just with a pair of shoulders.
You obviously at university at Arkansas, at college at Arkansas, you averaged out about 42.2 yards per punt. Was that kind of like the norm? Were other people hitting the same, or was it a little bit extra special?
That was not the norm. There's a lot of kids that had some big averages actually, but here's the thing though, is that that's why me and Prefer also, we're not a believer in stats, because the stats don't really show the true punt, because you can have a guy that hits 30-yard punts that roll 20 yards and he averages 50 yards. So that's the only thing about stats. The stats that you do look for though are how close your net is to your average. You know, because that means you're hitting them high and far, and your gunners are able to get down and make plays. So if you see someone with like a 50-yard average, but he's got a 40-yard net, you know, the chances are he's probably out-punting his coverage a little bit. So
talking about footballs, you popped free. Is this true?
Yeah, it's absolutely true, because I was really angry because I was training for the pro days, and then I popped the only balls I had to train with. And I was like, oh my Lord, what am I going to do? So then I was like, oh, who cares? Just get some different balls. So I had just kicking college balls, and then the Browns and stuff had sent me some footballs, and that was like Christmas. They sent me like 8 of them. So
oh, great! I mean, Merry Christmas from the Browns, right?
Right.
You guys have got a new head coach, Kevin Stefanski from the Vikings. He knows about winning. What are you looking forward to about that?
As long as I'm working with Coach Prefer, you know, and keep doing a good job for him and do a good job for the defense, you know, I'll be fine. I'm excited to see how he changes things and what differences he brings to the table, and just work hard for him. You
were selected back in September. You were the team's player of the week and player of the AFC for special teams. How was that moment being selected, especially being a rookie to the sport essentially?
It was a big shock. A few of the guys were like, hey bro, congratulations. I went to say congratulations for him, and found out like, oh, I made the player of the week. And for me, I wish it was not Jamie Gillan, the punt team, you know, got team of the week or something, because you know, I had great snaps from Charlie, and he's in my opinion, one of the best snappers in the league. Great gunners too. I was very, very, very grateful for that player of the week, and but got to show some love to the whole team, you know.
Do you have any advice for young people who want to get into the sport, who are in the sport, and young players from the academy?
Yeah, absolutely. Aside from football, you got to take your education seriously, because it's not like here. You know, you fail classes, you don't get to play. End of story. You lose your scholarship. So when you go there, taking care of your business on the field is the easy part, but taking care of business off the field is hard, because you've got very little time to yourself. You know, a normal schedule in the off season, you're up in the morning at 4:30, you're on the field at 5, you're running for 2 hours, then you're breakfast, and you've got 8 classes. It's a really tough schedule, but you love it, you'll get through it, but just got to take care of business.
Being from rugby and American football, have you seen much similarities in terms of the player ability and player athleticism?
I've never met so many freak athletes in my life. Just America produce absolutely monster human beings that, like, people I have never even, you see like in the movies, you know, they're that big and that athletic, you know, they're not just big and walking, they're big and running 4, 5, 40s and stuff, and it's just it's amazing to be around it, and just how genetically they're made to play football.
Oh, Ash, he may not be with us in the studio, but he's here in spirit. And also in that VT. Look, if you want any more tailgate action and chats from earlier in the season, then just head over to the Yahoo UK YouTube channel.